It is 3 p.m. and 3:04, if I'm not mistaken, in Tampa, Florida. How's everybody doing? My name is Yanko Maceda, founder of Tabanero Cigars, and today we're going to be smoking a Toro 6x52. It's been with me and also with you guys. It's been aging at least 2 years already. This beautiful cigars in Tampa, Florida. At least 2 years and a half. It was an exciting week. Many things happened this week. They helped me to grow, gain a little bit more of experience for this amazing journey. And I'm gonna share with you guys some of the things that happened this week. Finally, I got my self-contained humidor. At some point, I got to learn how to add pictures in here so you guys can see it. Hola, Julián, ¿cómo estás? Hola, Mambo. I'm gonna find a way how I can share pictures with you guys during a Sunday life. But I finally got my self-contained humidor from China. This is a company that I believe I met in a PCA, and I went into the venture of importing straight from China to Nicaragua, bypassing Miami. I usually import things through Miami, but I said, you know what, let me give it a try and bring them straight from China to Nicaragua. And it was quite an experience. He came on October, the shipment, and I finally got him yesterday. And I think the channels here, the customs, hola Nicolas, the customs, they did what they were supposed to. They did what they're supposed to. Where we make a lot of mistakes, it was choosing the agency to do the work with the whole process. There were many mistakes that prolong. And after 21 days of you not doing anything or doing things correctly, they believe the shipment is being abandoned. So I pay fees, I pay many things. The unit itself, it was $1,200 plus $300 shipping. And I think they haven't given me my bill yet, but because all the fee, storage, mistakes that they made. Hola Charlies, ¿cómo está? Saludo. Happy Reflecting Sunday. Because of many mistakes, I think I'm at least at $2,000 importing a $1,200 unit. So it wasn't quite an experience. The unit, I bought it wholesale. I bought it wholesale, so I paid $1,200, something that retail, it's close to $4,000. So I'm still, if you're gonna do that comparison, I'm still on the retail. But it was extremely expensive. That's one of the highlights of this week. The other thing is that I finally completed my EcoFlow system of a smart panel, 2 Delta Pro batteries with the inverters integrated, and 4 solar panels or 400 watts. They've been working for 4 days already, 5 days. There are some peak times of the day in here in Esteli. Each series of panels, because I did it on 2 on a serial and 2 on series, I seen 950 watts, and it was supposed to be 800. So it's working great. And I did that system so I can convert my office, my huge office on this rental home that we live, to convert it into a walk-in humidor. The batteries are homing right now because they're charging, and I'm amazed how good of a system EcoFlow offers. And it's pretty easy to install and really easy to, it's really mobile. You can disconnect one battery and take it somewhere and use it for camping or whatever. They're pretty handy. So I'm happy. I'm happy with my humidor already here, imported from China. Also with the humidor, we brought the second honeycomb for a big laser cutter. Our laser cutters, they need big honeycomb so pieces don't drop. I finally got the honeycomb that I supposed to have in the first time that the machine came in, but so after 3 long months waiting, I got my honeycomb and I got my humidor. I got my system done. It happened, the drop ceiling in the office, it dropped. It was a really poor installation who did it a long time ago. Bienvenido, Julio, bienvenido. It was a really bad installation, so the drop ceiling dropped. And it only had 3 rails for a pretty big span. So I talked to the owner, the landlord. The landlord said, "No problem, Yanko. You know, you're an amazing client. Da, da, da. Let's go ahead and do anything that is needed." It's amazing. The landlord's from here. The owner is from Holland. He's not from Nicaragua. He's from Holland. So we speak the same language. And he fixed it, but I took advantage and bought insulation R11. So we put insulation on the drop ceiling in the office. So now it's well insulated to put a high efficiency split unit air conditioning in there. So we can keep the cigars humid and cool. Because a lot of my cigars that I had in there in the office, they're being that high humidity, low humidity, not the same temperature all the time. They definitely have changed. So now I got my cabinet humidor. My cabinet humidor has a really strong smell, cedar smell. And now I'm working on getting that walk-in humidor. What I'm missing for the walk-in humidor is the split unit, which is already on my garage. A high efficiency split unit that works with 110 volts and the humidification system. So hopefully when I'm back from US, because I'm going to the US now on the 10th, and I'm gonna spend 2 months on US. I'm gonna spend time with my team, my family in US, my good clients, the shop. So when I be back, hopefully I'll be able to finish my walking humidor in here in my home in Nicaragua until we build our factory in here in Nicaragua. I want to share with you guys an incident that happened with the installation of the solar panels. This is a pretty tall roof, second floor, and I took a picture with Google of the roof, and I highlighted which side of the roof I needed the solar panels because they're facing directly south, so I can take sun since it comes out and it goes back in west east. Okay, the whole journey of the sun. And I said, look, I sent the guy, a good company here in Esteli, GeoSol. They came in with a nice ladder, 32 feet high ladder that we were able to go all the way to the roof. They had good tools. You can see that they're professionals. They pull the railings, they pull the solar panels, and I waited for them to install because I was going to go up and check. They thought I was scared of the heights or something. And even that I told them that my first business in Miami was rain gutters. So I was already used to working on heights. So when I went up, I see that they installed the solar panels facing norte, sur, este, oeste, facing the west. And I said, engineer, because he's an engineer, you guys install the solar panels facing west. So when the sun is coming out of the west, I'm going to get a little bit of sun. But around 1 p.m., that's it. I don't have any more sun. I show you in the picture, we talked about installing on the south side so I can get the sun the whole day. Hola, Jessica Vargas. Welcome, welcome. The guy looked at me like, what? Yeah, that's the south. I show you in the picture. When you came the first time, I told you that was the size that we need to do the panels. Oh, hold on. My helper used his phone, and south is that way because La Panamericana. I said, look, I don't know about La Panamericana. I know about a compass, and south is that way. Here's my phone. Oh no, but his phone south is the. I said, look, take his phone. And the helper came out, took his phone out, and I guess the first time they looked at it, it wasn't calibrated, and it was pointing west. And then at that moment, his helper's phone, it was pointing correctly. I was, God, help me. I hired a professional company to do this, and this happened. Cuco Borra, ¿cómo estás? And then they said, no problem, we'll change it. And then they put it facing south, and it's working amazing. I've been producing electricity, solar power, up to almost 4 p.m., 5 p.m. Beautiful. And in here, it's not always sunny. That's why it's good to grow tobacco. It's, cloudy, and it's still the batteries, they're always around. With the sun that we are collecting, they're able to collect, and the usage, we are able to stay at between 60 to 80% collecting from the sun. So I'm loving it. I'm using power now just for the air conditioning is connected to another box. So the air conditioning for my kids' room, my room, the dining area, and the living room, those 5 air conditionings, they're not on that solar system. The rest of the house is in the solar system, and the air conditioning for the walk-in humidor is going to be on the solar system. So I'm really happy. I'm really happy that at the end, everything worked out. I did the installation of basically the whole system. I didn't do the solar panels because I couldn't find the railings. I couldn't find where to buy the railings, and I didn't have anybody here to help me. And I said, you know what, let me hire someone. And it wasn't really expensive U.S. Rate for here. Yeah, it was really expensive. So I said, well, it was a mistake, a compass mistake, not paying attention to directions because I already told them I'm the client. Here's where I want the panels, and they ignored it, and they did it in the wrong side of the roof. Well, the next day, I sent all my extinguishers, the box shop extinguishers, and also my car's extinguishers to the company to be checked, refill, whatever they do, and put the new sticker. When they came back the next day with all the extinguishers clean, nice and neat, my person in charge, Gretel, is going to pay the bill, and she looks at the extinguishers, and they put the sticker that it will expire on March 2026. I said, man, what's up with these people? In my house, the panels facing west, and now I'm like, wow. I don't know if people can concentrate or I don't know what's going on with humans. I have no idea. So we tell the guy, look, you guys make this mistake. Oh, no problem, no problem. I will send the lady with the new stickers. Oh, okay, all right, okay. And something that I learned, that probably you guys know, is that in here, you don't pay. You don't pay until everything is up to standards how you want it. Because if you make the mistake of paying on promises that we're going to be back, this and that, it's tough. It's a tough environment. It's a tough culture. That's why so many entrepreneurs in the cigar industry has come to Esteli, have tried, and have just picked and left, and leave behind all their cigar molds or everything behind, because they can take it to the U.S. and they're not going to do anything with it in the U.S. I'm not scaring anybody, but it takes guts. It takes guts to come down here and do business with the Nicaraguan culture. I love the country. I love the lifestyle, but you have to learn fast. You have to learn fast. It's been, like I said, it's been an interesting week. This is another story. 3 weeks ago, and by the way, this story is about Bondo Cigars, everyday cigars. And as you can see, we put a finding we had on the website of Bondo Cigars, really good cigars for every day. And yesterday we have amazing sales of Bondo Cigars. Don't get it confused. These are not Maceda brands. These are not Maceda quality. These are Bondo Cigars. What are Bondo Cigars? They're cigars made by good cigar rollers. By good cigar rollers, but with the leftovers of tobacco that they don't make it to be in a premium cigar. Broken leaf, not such a beautiful wrappers, little things like that. Noel, how are you, sir? How are you? So we launched yesterday Bondo Cigars on the website, and it was a great day. It was a great day. You guys give us a lot of support, so thank you very much. And share your feedback. Share your feedback. What do you think? How they wear? If I did good with those Bondo cigars. So 3 weeks ago, I'm in the mountains on, like today on a Sunday. I went to have coffee over there in a local coffee shop, and then we went to a little park, the new park in the mountains, and I bumped into a retired American. That's all I'm gonna say. A retired American from here, from Esteli. And the guy was talking to me and asking me many questions because he's not in the industry. He just smokes cigars, and he's retired with his pension from the U.S. He's retired here in Esteli. He married a Nicaraguan lady, and I think he had a kid. And he was, joking around that all his friends, they say, well, if you want to get rich, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, Noel. Thank you. Jeannie, how are you? Welcome, welcome. And he was joking around. You hear this joke a lot, that if you want to get rich, come into the cigar industry, being a millionaire and lose a lot of money to become rich. I hear that a lot. It hasn't been my experience, but I hear that a lot. I guess it's an industry that if you come in strictly for money, you got to be really, really, really good. Really, really good to come into this industry strictly because of money. Because it's an industry around people that have experienced success in their life. They're usually thinkers. It's easy for them to see through you, and they will be able to spot right away if you're a fake and you're just blowing smoke, or if you're truly honest about the craftsmanship. So I guess what he's saying is that not everybody can get into such a noble, passionate industry. So, well, we kept the conversation. We kept the conversation flowing. And he said, well, I just went to the U.S. and took 800 cigars and custom spot me. They cut me, and they, that was a big fine, and I probably can go to jail and this and that. But they cut me a break, and I said, well, God bless you. If you know how to use what God has given you, that's good, and I'm glad I'm celebrating that nothing happened to you. But he's the type of individual that if you just stay quiet, he keeps spilling the beans. So I just keep, listening to him and making it feel good. And he said, yeah, there's some cigars that I bought from so-and-so. They're seconds from this line, and I got it at 50 cents. But they're extremely, extremely tight. The person who's going to smoke it is going to have to run a bicycle wire through it to be able to smoke. And I hear inside of my head, I'm going, wow. Wow. I can't wrap my head around that something that I wouldn't do myself, I'm going to pass it on to my customers, even if it's good tobacco. So 2 weeks later, after that conversation, that was the end of the conversation. After the end of the conversation, someone, an acquaintance, approached me or called me and said, hey, Yanko, I have really good bundles. They're seconds of this, well-known brand, and I have them really cheap. I have it at 80 cents. At 80 cents. 3 weeks before, God has given me the information that they were 50 cents. Now they're coming back to me at 80 cents. And I just stay quiet. And I said, okay, let me go check it out. Let me go see them. And can I smoke one? Yeah, sure. Grab whatever you want, and smoke it. I know you have a really good palate. I said, okay. And I went to his office. He wasn't in there. I opened the boxes, and they were hard as wood. They were hard as wood. You touch them, and they were so hard as wood that the only thing I can think to do with that is break it, make a short filler, and try to give it to someone that does short filler. They were unsmokable. There was no way to smoke that. I grabbed a Toro that it was a little bit soft, a little bit, not soft. It flexed a little bit. So I brought them that same night here, light up, and it was good tobacco because it was a second of a well-known brand. It was good tobacco. Thank you, Kings. Thank you very much. And I light up the cigar. I already had dinner. And it was good tobacco, but I can't pull. It was so tight that I can't pull the cigar. In my mind, I'm going, wow, what about the other ones that to the touch were really hard? And my friend who offered me the cigars, which I already know him, I said, I'm not even going to bother calling him because I know he's desperate to call me to hear my opinion. And the next day, 11 a.m., ring, ring, ring. Hey, brother, how you doing? Good. So what do you thought of the cigars? I said, look, man, those cigars, they're hard as wood. There's no way anybody can smoke that. I wouldn't put anybody through that situation. I wouldn't allow anybody in my circle, my clients, to have that experience. And just to let you know, those cigars are sold in here in Esteli for 50 cents. Oh my God, No, I'm going to call them and tell them to take them back. Okay. I hang up. 3 days later, I'm at the gym and I bump into another guy that is known with this guy who's selling the cigars, my friend. And he goes, "Hey, Yanko, how you doing, man? Hey, my nephew's business in San Juan, my nephew's business in a town, in Esteli, he used to sell a product that is not allowed anymore in here in Nicaragua. So we're going to start selling cigars. So I bought 3 cases, 3 boxes from so-and-so so we can start selling those cigars in my nephew's business in the town in Esteli." I was, oh my God. This is such a small town. All you have to do is just stay quiet and listen. And that right there, I said, wow, God is really, really on my side. God is really on my side. He knows what my family did with me, my grandmas, my aunts, my mother. That, whatever I don't want to happen, whatever I don't want for me, I don't want it for anybody. But it's hard for me to grasp around how this industry works and how people believe that the client or is dumb or stupid or. So it was a highlight. It was a highlight of this week, this whole situation with cigars. And I was happy that when things like that happen, you look back and you go, wow, you gain a lot of experience. You gain a lot of experience with tobacco, with people, especially people, because that's the hardest part in business. People is the hardest part in business. This week I fired a kid, and he was, I don't know, 22. I fired a kid because he would do an okay work, okay job. He was the machinist, one of the machinists. He will he will cut the plywood for the laser cutters. He will do the size of the boxes, the chisel, the side of the boxes. He would do a lot of work with the plywood. And he's only been with me a month and a half, and he already missed a Monday, which I hate that. When someone misses a Monday, that means that they're not compromised. That means that they're not appreciating the opportunity I'm giving them. And they say it's the norm. It's the norm here in Esteli. A lot of people don't go to work on Mondays, but I don't like it. I came from another place. If you say Tuesday, it's Tuesday. If you say Wednesday, it's Wednesday. It's not next Wednesday. So so he did it, I think 2 weeks ago on a Monday, and then this Tuesday he also didn't show up. And my person in charge was calling, "Hey, Fernando, what happened?" And then he finally answered, "Oh no, I came to the hospital to do a regular checkup, because in here the clinic, the hospital, it's free. It's included on the taxes that I'm paying over their money, so they can have free clinics." Well, they're free, but they're really an inconvenience. So not because of the clinic, because of the people. So I learned to read the signs from my team. When they start giving you complaint about someone, they're basically telling you they're unhappy, that they're waiting for someone to do something about it, and they're waiting for me to say yay or nay. But sometimes I like to do it myself, because I don't know if I want to set an example. So I told Gretel, when he comes in, tell him to come to the office, because he works on the first floor. He came in around after lunch, and yes, bossman. And I said, "Fernando, what happened? What happened today?" "Well, I had my regular checkups that I do." He's 22. I said, "Okay, and you couldn't send the messages on Monday, or you couldn't tell us on Friday that you're going to have your regular checkup on Tuesday? You couldn't Oh no, I didn't have internet in my house, so I couldn't communicate. I said, okay. And what about that Monday that you missed 2 weeks ago? Oh, I had a little bit of pain on my ear, so I went to the clinic. Oh, you had a little bit of pain on your ear, you went to the clinic. Hmm. Okay. And then he went and pulled the clinic receipt or whatever that they bring. Like, like you got to see that receipt and go, oh my God, you know. And thank you very much, thank you. And I said, okay, Fernando, look, Fernando, those papers that you guys bring, I don't really care about those. What I really care is it's you, how you are compromised with the thing that we are doing here, how we serving clients. That's your compromise with the factory is what I really care. What I really care. The sense of ownership that you have with this factory. So let me ask you something. How do you feel working here? And he went and made the mistake of saying, Bossman, 50-50, 50-50. I said, okay, all right. You know, every meeting I tell them, I don't want anybody in there to be unhappy. We try to work it out, and if it doesn't work, if we see that it's not the place of work, that it's not of environment, that it's their personal life, we let them to keep going. So I said, okay, Fernando, fine, Fernando. You know what, Fernando? Thank you very much for all your support. You can leave. You can leave now and come back tomorrow morning for your liquidation. And I let it go. And I let it go. And that same Friday, we did the meeting and we talked about it. And I said again, I said, we work here thanks to technology, thanks to the technology that I applied to this box factory. We work in here in a really relaxing environment. So I know that anybody that has been through this factory and left is regretting that they left. And I know that the more people know how we do things here, they're going to want to come to work for us. It's only a matter of time. But we need to make a space for those really passionate individuals who love the craftsmanship so they can come in. On a glass full of water, you can keep pouring water. It will overboard. The water will go out. So to make room for those people who are looking for a factory like ours, we need to empty the glass. So if anybody's in here unhappy, please don't avoid me firing you. Just go. Just tell them thank you very much and go. A week ago, Lenny, a really good painter, I called his attention because he was always sitting, and I said, no, you know, this is not how we work here. And I did it politely. I said, how you feel here? No, Bossman, I love it. I love it. I love to work here. But I guess he knew that in a near future, I will finally fire him because he couldn't work with the pressure, the compromise that I'm asking from my team. He kind of knew, talking to others, that when he will fail the first Monday or when he didn't show up and call me, that will be the end. Because I told him, look, the only person here that is the only person here that it can cease to exist, it's me, because I pay your salary. It's me. I'm sorry. I told him the only people that are really it can cease to exist is the client. After the client, myself. Painters, serigrafistas, machinists. There's a lot of people looking for work here in SLE. And I guess he didn't like it. He said, no, Bossman, I like it here, but he didn't show up the next Monday. And being a small town, I learned that the guy, he's too relaxing. His lifestyle. He's kind of like an artist slash. So he knew he was not going to make it with us. So he saved me the pain of firing him. And this is not the first time. Many people have worked with us. They love it. They see that we are laser focused, that we are on it, and they go, you know what? Let me leave because I know at some point I'm gonna expire here. So we're getting ready for the show. We're getting ready for the PCA show. I'm leaving to Tampa, Florida, April 10th. I can't wait to see my good friends, clients, my family, my team, my Tabanero team. And I'm going to really enjoy the PCA because I don't really go to the PCA to sell. I'm not a good salesperson. David, brother, how you doing? I go to the PCA to say hello to Jorge Padrón, say hello to Adel Fernandez, say hello to Nestor Andres, Plasencia, to say hello to the people that I even that we in Esteli, I don't get to see too often. Say hello to the stores, the few stores that carry our brands. It's 2 days to meet with good people. I believe sales, if it's meant to happen, it would happen. It would happen. But I stopped going to the PCA, Premium Cigar Association trade show, with big hopes of coming back with a lot of money. No. It's an expense, a yearly expense that I go out with my wife, and allows her to grow love for the industry and to understand how we better people's life with in this lifestyle by our compromise of delivering good experiences to our clients. And hopefully my kids will understand it, and some of them will fall in love with it and continue if they want to. If not, it would die with me, but I will be a hell of a journey that I'm extremely enjoying it. I'm extremely enjoying it. For me, it's not a destination, it's the journey. Guys, thank you very much. I had a great time documenting my week, and hopefully next Sunday I will have new stories. Good stories and just documenting what really happened. Have an amazing Sunday. Today is time to reflect, to think about life. If you go to the past, go for reference. Don't stay too long back there. Come back to the present. Be thankful. Be thankful for everything that we have right now in the present. Be thankful for our health and plan the future ahead. My name is Yanko Maceda, founder of Tabanero Cigars, where we believe in the enjoyment of craftsmanship that allows you to stop time, reflect on life, and plan the future ahead.